this morning. The gate can get a little bit long, so we're going to wait, if you don't mind, another 10 or 15 minutes. If people stream in, it'll be shorter than that, but please help yourselves to coffee, tea, and snacks. Andrew is going to mention it to you later on as well. Our feeling that we want to put across today is to look for the unexpected, to be surprised and do things differently. And you'll notice that there's scones down there. And our link with that today is not good old English, with the Queen and that. It's the fact that in the townships with the celebration, scones are the food of choice at celebrations. So that's the first your little things. Also, can I ask you at some time before you leave, down the bottom there is 5D. They are an awesome business. Yeah, the headphone, not headphone, the headsets that you have that you can look 5D headphones. They have a whole station set up there. Now, they have something very special. You know, we've been talking about bunkering and all of that at the islands. They have a setup there today of Bird Island. So if you've never seen Bird Island, you'll be able to go onto it and get a full idea of that. So please don't forget, sometime when you're here, to pop down there. You can either watch it on the screen or you can put the goggles on and have a good look. But please do that before you go home today. Thanks, guys.
Are you filming with it? Yes, you are. Does it?
Guys, we're just about underway, about 10 minutes. There is mayhem at the gate. And
Tell me about
so
it.
if you'll just be a little more patient. I mean, it's not a bad spot to be patient in, is it? How many of you have been here since it opened? I remember it, yeah, there we go. I remember it as Dockside Debbie's when we had the first Harbour Festival just ages ago. There are 2 cars. It looks like a Hyundai FRF 293EC, and next to it,
I think it's a white Honda, not a Honda.
yeah, a white Honda. Thanks, Andrew.
No,
Next to it is a
parked somewhere
Ford
in.
EcoSport, and it ends with 912EC. What color is that?
It's a gold Ford EcoSport.
Yeah, just you parked in a gateway, folks. If you wouldn't mind just moving those a bit.
Yeah, and the Ford and the white one as well.
Yeah, the white one and the gold one. So it's a Ford EcoSport and
Honda hatchback.
Hyundai, one of the 2. So we'll be with you in 10 minutes, guys, as soon as those people have done their boxing with the security at the gate.
So difficult now that
be giving an answer. You can see the screen.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear us at the end there? Donne, are you able to hear me? Great. I've got thumbs up from the far side. And I just want to welcome you all this morning. It's been a roller coaster ride trying to get to this point. I'm loving the weather, and I'm sure we all are. It's just that we can't wait any longer, although there may be one or two people at the security boom trying to get in, and we've given them enough time. There wasn't an official program where we started at 10, so we're going to kick off now. I'm going to introduce myself and introduce the rest as we go. But as long as you've all got coffee and something to eat, or you've had, that'll be fantastic. And without further ado, the screens that we have up are not really ideal for outdoor viewing. So it's more for my own benefit. So the slides that we've put together, and Sean painstakingly put together, I think it's been a 12-hour session. We may not be able to see them right away. However, the message is clear, and I'll start with that in a moment. If I can just learn how this Magodi works. Big arrow. Okay. Firstly, like I said, welcome here. My name is Andrew Stewart. I have been voted in as chairperson of an organization called Nelson Mandela Bay Tourism, which today will change, and we'll reveal all shortly. But Nelson Mandela Bay Tourism has been around for a long time, and I feel like a new kid on the block. And I don't have all the answers, but I am very energized and very willing to find out whatever needs to be found out to move forward. So there's a lot of familiar faces here I'm looking at, and then a couple of new faces, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all. Okay, firstly, discover. The word discover. Is there any way I can talk without having my lips right on this thing? Like this. Can I speak like this? Okay, otherwise I feel like a singer. Okay, we all understand the word and the meaning of the word discover. We've got our version of it is become aware of something and get to know more about it. So we are in a city that has come through many trials and tribulations. And we don't have to tell you tourism folk that we've probably been through more trials and tribulations than most in the last 2 years, and we continue to. So we've got this, the situation where we I won't go into that right now, where we weren't able to continue as tourism post 2018. But let me go on with Discover first. Somebody once said, well, this person's name is Marcel Proust, the real voyage of discovery consists not of seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. So instead of us looking around for new products, which I do believe are necessary, but I think if we all just, and I think COVID allowed us to do this, put on new eyes and look at what we have in our bay, I think we were able to see that there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential here. I know I, for one, have opened my eyes to a lot of opportunities. And then the other thing about discovery is self-discovery is the best investment that you can make. I also want to just say that, discover is not a noun, it's a verb. And the only way that you discover is to go out and find and do and change and get involved. And I'll talk about getting involved a little bit later as well. But we need to discover our partners. We need to discover new communities that we can work together with. We need to discover products. We need to discover ideas. The journey of discovery never ends. I don't think any of us, until the day we are put into that brown box, will ever stop discovering new things. So the road to discover, if you can't see the slide, I've got a date there from 1921 to 2018. It wasn't always known as Nelson Mandela Bay Tourism. There was a time in 1921 that the Port Elizabeth Publicity Association started out with tourism. It then became NMBT a little later on. And in 2018, through some decisions from the municipality, the funding that NMBT had was withdrawn, and we were left in a very strange situation where you had our association, our organization, without any funding, without any sort of keel to steer us in the right direction. The other problem was that NMBT pre 2018 was a destination marketing company at the same time. So it was an organization representing members, and it was also a destination marketing company, and it had lots of warm bodies in hot seats making decisions and spending money in the right places to get people from abroad and nationally to our shores. So it was a fully fledged working destination marketing organization. Post 2018, we found ourselves with an organization that really is member based only, but hasn't got a mandate from the municipality or a mandate from the members to really do anything. And there's been this transition from 2018 to where we are today. And I want to emphasize that we've been in a sort of a cocoon situation for the last probably 4 years. But when I say cocoon, we haven't been sleeping, trust me. I'm pretty much been involved for the last year or so. Prior to that, we had people behind the scenes, the likes of Sean van Eck, Sheena Wilmot, Sean Fitzhenry, Glenn Pappen, who were driving this association without any help from, well, the EDTA, the Department of Tourism within the municipality have been alongside us and have helped us wherever we can. But the bottom line is that as an association, we really have not been able to do much because everybody working for the association is a volunteer and trying to get their own businesses going. The only person who was permanently employed was Cheryl. She's upstairs and she is a force to be reckoned with, and she's fantastic, but she's only one person. And she's been literally single-handedly running Nelson Mandela Bay Tourism for the last 4 years with input from the board. So I come onto the board earlier this year, and there's a decision that it's to reimagine. And I can't think of a better time to reimagine this organization. We are exiting probably one of the most troubled times of our lives with the pandemic. We are at one of, I would imagine, I'm too scared to say it, but one of the lowest points that this municipality can possibly be in. So we're coming off a very low base. But if you ask anybody involved in tourism in the city, everybody would agree with you that the potential of this city and this bay is extraordinary. I can relate stories to, I'm from a business tourism background where we used to be involved in conferences and events. And I had conference guests from inland, from Joburg, from overseas, come here and their eyes popped out their heads when they realized that PE is not what Gareth Cliff said. Actually, it actually is a beautiful, beautiful city with much, much to offer. And we've only really scratched the surface. Sean's going to go into a lot more detail on the plans going forward, and the partners that we want to develop, and the tourism communities and the township development. And so there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes. But at the moment, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that we are sitting on a gold mine, and it just needs to be properly packaged and discovered. So that's the road to discovery. So we now 2021 last year, and we sat down and decided we need to reimagine who we are. If we're an association, what are we doing for our members, and why do our members need to continue paying their subsidies, and how do we fit in? What's our reason for being? So we decided to create a little platform where we got groups of people together, members and non-members included, who were asked to come and meet with us at the VAT offices. There were groups of about 7 to 10 people at a time, and probably about 5 or 6 of those groups. We had reimagined groups where we had workshops to try and figure out how we go forward. We got some really valuable input, and over a period of about 2 months, we put together a document and worked out who we are when we reimagine ourselves. So we engaged and we learned with our members and those in the tourism industry. This was all in aid of finding our new vision, mission, and brand. And little did we know in those early days, and I'm sitting here watching the person who came up with the word, but he was in those meetings. We had meetings about what do we call ourselves? Who are we? And after, I can't tell you the amount of debates sitting around a table discussing, do we use the name Nelson Mandela? Do we use the word tourism? Is it a corporate thing? Is it a destination thing? There were lots of factors to take into account, and we needed to come up with a brand that fitted more of a corporate environment. So we have, and I'll let me go into the next slide. Lots of you won't be able to see it. I just want to go to the one that talks to this. Okay, so tourism partners. I mean, basically, we have the tourism department, the EDTA, within the municipality. They have pretty much taken over the role of the destination marketing operation. And they have a hard job. They really do. They have to do what they did previously with lots of red tape, lots of strings attached, so they can't, if they make decisions, it's not an easy thing to do. We also have the consumer brand, which is the destination of Nelson Mandela Bay. So Nelson Mandela Bay Tourism is actually a destination brand, and I see Boomtown here. They were very involved in the the branding of the city as Nelson Mandela Bay Tourism. So we have a destination brand. We have the EDTA, which is the municipal tourism branch, and then we have ourselves, which used to be NMBT. So we came up with a name, and it took a while for it to sink in. And through lots of, like I say, through lots of debate and questions and things, we decided that actually we have to keep Mandela Bay in the name. I'm going to ask Bev to, she's at the ready. So we have to keep Mandela Bay in it, and we wanted to get a word and that described what we need to do to move forward. And the word was discover. So that's why I've been harping on discover. And what we did then is we tried it in various forms, and Discover Mandela Bay, DMB, Tourism Partners, is what the board and the tourism guys came up with. So Bev's going to unravel the new look and feel of tourism, Nelson Mandela, or Discover Mandela Bay Tourism Partners. You'll see also included in the logo is a pin, and you would have seen the pin all around. Sean's put up posters showing the pin in various formats. The location pin we all recognize. We all know Google. We know how to find places. I got asked twice this morning to send a pin to somebody to find us here. We are all effectively pins. All our destinations are pins. We individually are pins. So the pin works out really well with the Discover Mandela Bay Tourism Partners logo, and you'll see it forms part of the logo. I also want to talk about, going back a little bit, about the analogy of an orchestra. Our job as Discover Mandela Bay, as an association, is to basically create the hymn sheet for our members to conduct a beautiful, nowhere else brand of experiences. So effectively, if you can imagine an orchestra, you've got the string instruments, you've got the wind instruments, you've got the percussion, and they're all doing their own thing. And if you had one string instrument on its own and one trumpeter on his own, he doesn't really make it very effective noise. One or two of them can play on their own, but anybody that's been and listened to a symphony or an orchestra will understand when the whole thing comes together, that's when you start to play real music, and the real music happens. And Sean came up with the idea of an orchestra and a symphony, and DMB Discover Mandela Bay being the conductor. So our job is to conduct all those various parts to make sure that we all speak the same language and we get people to our city. We know what the value of the city is, and on our own, we're all very effective, but each person working together creates an orchestra, and working together will be much more powerful. Just want to check that I'm covering all my bases here. So the other thing that we wanted to do is be different. We want to differentiate ourselves from the previous entity in the look and the feel. Not that we diss the original entity, it's just that we are needing to do things differently. I don't know who said it, but the person I think is quite famous who said that if we keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, then you're never going to get there. We need to be different. And to be different, we've changed the structure of the actual association. In that, I'll give it to you now. The board will remain a voted board, so we will be voted in as board members. However, joining Cheryl as an operations person, Sean van Eck, who I couldn't think of anybody better, who's done more behind the scenes work than anybody else I know, except maybe the late Peter Miles for tourism in the city. He's volunteered to step into the position of project manager at Discover Mandela Bay. So he will be championing the actual the operation himself. Himself and Cheryl will be at the office putting plans together, and he will tell you more about the plans that are coming up. So we have an office. We have 2 hot bodies. We have a very passionate board. Myself, Sheena, Lloyd, Lusanda. I don't think Lusanda's here. And I see Mr. Mike Pants, he's just showed his face, and one day I'll get him onto the board. One day. And so we're a small board. We are looking to expand, and we do need some young, fresh blood on that board. But we are fired up about Discover Mandela Bay Tourism Partners, and we are going to go places. As an association, and I've been involved with SARCI, which is the Association for the Conference Industry, and I often got that question from our members asking what the benefits were. And I don't want to harp on it, but I've never joined an association to be handed out benefits. My understanding with joining an association was that you're almost joining a team, and the team then works together to create what you need. You don't, if you're joining an association to be handed things on a silver platter and be given jobs and work, etc., I think you've joined the association for the wrong reasons. Having said that, I think tourism is one of those easy things to get involved in because people in tourism generally are passionate, and people who join an organization like this will be passionate about tourism in the city. And what we have to do is the more members and the more passionate we are, the stronger we will be when we are talking to our partners like the EDTA. Now, Sean has managed over the last probably 2-3 years to really cement a strong relationship with many groupings in the city. One of them being the EDTA. The EDTA are the municipal body that obviously looks after tourism. And like I say, they have a tough time. They work hard, but they have a tough time trying to get things done. And there was a little bit of, what can I say, when there was a breakup of NMBT and EDTA, there was some unhappiness. And through a couple of years of negotiation, we are probably at the strongest we've been. We are strongly related to the EDTA. They help us a lot. We want to be, they come to for advice. And what we want to do is be the to say to the EDTA, either with a stick or a carrot. We're not going to be, because we're going to be independent and we don't have funding and we are not beholden to any of the funders. We can ask them to please get together with the beach office or safety and security or maintenance and get things done. We want to be able to be in a position where we can ask them nicely, and if it doesn't happen, maybe we can twist their arm a little bit, and with our members' numbers and strength and passion, we can get things to change. I know a lot of you won't know, but a person like Cliff Hanks sitting here is extremely involved in safety and security, especially in the Summer Strand area. And we've been to a number of meetings where he's managed to get almost every directorate under one roof to discuss the safety and security of the beachfront. We've lent our name to the seismic survey, and the most recent one was the bunkering, the oil spills, because we can't afford to have tourism at St. Croix Island wrecked by oil spills or bunkering. So we've put our name, we've sort of stood behind the groups that are going to court to ask them to cease with the bunkering. We were part of the group that got the moratorium lifted on the new licenses for the bunkering. So there are definitely things happening behind the scenes. But now that you all know who we are, and we are Discover Mandela Bay Tourism Partners, I'm hoping to see a lot more of these faces at a lot more functions. And then we will start working on projects. I'm going to hand over to Sean in a little bit just to give you an idea of what those projects may be and how we're going to run it forward. But before I do that, I just want to make sure I'm not leaving anything out again. I know Sean mentioned the scones earlier and the dumplings, so I'm not going to go through it again, but it wasn't supposed to be an English breakfast. I know that those that have come late might have helped themselves to scones and dumplings, and we approached Lloyd from Black Impala a week or so ago and said to him, we would like something soulful, something uniquely African for tea. So we want tea, coffee, and something African. So he says, scones. I went, you got to be joking. That's an English food. He said, no, that's the township food. You can get scones at the same time. So we produced scones, and I must say thanks, Lloyd, for being kind enough to accommodate us at fairly short notice. Guys, I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going to go through the slides just to make sure that I have covered it. I've got a picture here which you won't see. It's a mural that's been done in, I think it's Richmond Hill, on the side of a building of Nelson Mandela's face. If you get a chance to have a look at it, then you should. When people are determined, they can overcome. And there's a quote by him as well. So there's a painting of his face, and it says at the bottom there, when people are determined, they can overcome anything. And I truly believe in this city at this time, when we are honestly faced with mountains of challenges, mountains. My partner or my colleague in the board, Sheena Wilmot, and all who know her. She's very passionate. She's got 3 non-negotiables, and those are, I think, going forward, going to be tourism's our non-negotiables. One is cleanliness. We can't have a city that's not clean. The other one is maintenance. We cannot have a city that's not maintained. And the third one is safety and security. Without safety and security, we cannot get visitors here and ask them to come back. So, Cliff's working fiercely on that side of things. We need to get the security in the township sorted out. The other thing is I bumped into one of the old-time tour guides, and I've didn't realize how many tour guides we had. But now I'm starting to meet them all. They're coming out of the woodwork. But you all know Alan Fogarty, and we were just chatting about the fact that there is a need for products. And one of the things that came up, how simple is this? One of the ideas that somebody came up with, not me. People, when they're driving on the N2 via Port Elizabeth, Oberge, they come on the main road and they head up to the Wild Coast. What if we put a sign at the Seaview off-ramp and took them, and you could choose to go on the N2 via Oberge, or you could go on the scenic route, which would take you down past Maitlands, around past Smees, and get you back onto the N2. It'll probably extend your trip by maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. But imagine somebody then seeing that. People drive past the city and go up, it's an industrial city, and they have no idea 40-minute extra drive would take you past one of the most spectacular sea views in the country. But there is so much to talk about and so many things to offer. So I'm going to ask Sean to carry on because there's things in the township we need to talk about, and there's the bay itself. I won't even start there, but I'm going to hand over to Sean, who's our new sort of operations project manager, and he can take us from there. Thanks very much.
Yay, our new chairman. How about that, folks? I love it. All of the energy. I mean, we really are surrounded by special people now, and I hope you feel that beat of confidence and excitement because it is going to be different. We're going to move ahead well, I can promise you that. Now, two things that you need to have in your mind today are pins, not women's pins, pins, and discover. Okay, those are the two big things. Now, the reason we're here is to discover this venue. I don't think many of us have been here. We walked in, Andrew knew it, and we were blown away. And I hope you guys are having an awesome time here today. And as well as this venue, there are so many other experiences that we, who are the interface between our visitors and what there is to do, have seen. So that's where the whole discover thing comes in. It's a challenge to us to discover more of our city and our metro, because it starts with us. We will give direction on what there is and how we can turn it into an experience. We can then have you guys promoting and letting people know about it, and then these wonderful experiences that get people to post on social media and on TripAdvisor. And at the moment, the last survey, 52% of people on Facebook who went to new destinations, 52% were inspired and found that destination on posts on Facebook, not on tourism information sites or at a travel agent or anything like that. And sites like TripAdvisor, Facebook, Instagram, and various others are the secret now, guys. If people post positively on there, then that's what we do. We get them, and the better the experiences are, like having 5D, the better the experiences are, the stronger.
Sean! Sean, have you seen Comrade Biko?
No.
Have you seen Comrade Biko, Sean?
No.
Has anybody seen Comrade Biko? Do you know who Comrade Biko is? Oh, is it? Do you know Comrade Biko? Do you?
What is this about?
Do you know Comrade Biko?
Yes, I do, but why are you interrupting?
Let me tell you guys about this great leader. Let me tell you about this great leader. He's constantly confused as just another political activist. Kandike, he is an intellectual. This guy is an intellectual and a philosopher. He engages with so many academic intellectuals. His main focus is in giving the depth of the practical dimensions of Black consciousness. He also believes that, Sean, that Black people should go back to themselves. Black people should pump back life into their empty shells, infusing dignity and pride. That is Comrade Biko. He is also opposing the fact that people should live in fear of the matter of existence, in fear of tomorrow, in fear of not knowing whether you're going to make it today. That is Comrade Biko. I just met him, Sean, 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He was standing there with other fellow comrades, conversing about the matters at hand in our country. And suddenly a young boy came screaming, "The jealous boys! The jealous boys are coming! The police are coming!" And it was chaos. My entire world went to a trance. He came right up to me. He looked at me and he said, "Don't cry, my boy. Black people don't cry. They don't weep." With tears in his eyes. "The police are coming, Sean. Look at them. The police are coming, Sean." Steve Biko is banned, Sean. They're going to arrest him and torture him. I am going to look for Comrade Mokitake-san in Woma. I'm going to Woma to look for Comrade Mokitake-san.
So, and thanks, Chipper, you're a star. That is how we want to change things up, folks. So let's one step back. You have Zanamvula, who's on the other side there, and is a tour operator who does Walmer Township tours. We are putting together the most beautiful tour that is going to become famous internationally. And we're going to do different things. We're going to use 5D. We're going to show a protest march. So as a tourist, you'll be able to stand there with the headset on and have a protest march all around you with the old protest songs, the signs, and people talking and that type of thing. So you'll end up in the middle. You'll be able to look all over the place and feel what it feels like. And there's a deeper story to that. And then as we do the tour, that's the type of thing that's going to happen. That's how we try and be different. We don't just let the tour operator who's in the bus, the guide, tell the story. Every now and then, we will have someone into the fray wherever they are and act in character and bring out. So, and what Chipper would have done if we'd had more time is involve me as well. So as a tourist, I would become involved in the whole thing. Does that make sense? So it's not just look and tell, it's total immersion in the thing. I love this story because Chipper is from an organization called Isitata, which is a drama school that is right there next to Walmer Township. And we'll take you there sometime as one of our member development things. But Sharon Rother, Linda Louise Swain, and a couple of others have put that together. And Chipper is one of them. He's one of the guys who're going to work with that on our tours. So, lekker, hey? How good is that? Gee, very good. I love it. So that's what we mean when we talk about experiences, that it's not just passive for the visitor. It actually becomes immersive and hands-on. And the rest of the guys, I hated the Australians. They got it 7 years ago. They were training people already and getting this right. And it's time for us, guys. There's a new, as I said just now, new source of inspiration and booking for our potential visitors. And that's our current visitors. Okay? They are more powerful and we aren't trusted in the way we promote, because obviously we're going to stretch the truth of it and go mad with it. But a fellow tourist who has experienced it is trusted to give the right message. In fact, 92% of tourists say that is what they'll go according to. And how does that happen? How are they going to give good reviews and that? By great experiences and stories. And the type of thing we did there, the interactivity. And I'm sending out a newsletter myself and Cheryl, and you guys will get it, and it will constantly have international ideas and show you other products and how they're doing that. You up for that? Are you ready to get your pins even more impressive? Mm-hmm. Okay, because each of you is a pin. On that map, whether you're a guest house, an attraction, a walk, whatever it might be, you're a tourist pin. So when I every now and then address you as my pins, you know exactly what I mean by that. So that's what we need to do. So one of the things we're going to do is get stuck into those training sessions with you. Free of charge. We've got this brilliant session that we've put together to tell you about experiences, show you international best practice, and then I'm going to try and stretch myself into groups of 5 of you and practically help you to do that for your product as well. Can I do that? Can I get stuck in? We've already done some very basic examples of it, and it works so well. So, in fact, let me take it back to that. I'm sure you can see it. That, to me, is what storytelling is all about for a destination. I mean, look at that. It's interactive. You can see the person doing something. And they don't say, oh, we've got good seafood here, but they turn it into a story where fresh seafood comes with ancient stories. I'm going there. And it's Australia. We've got to get better than the Australians. And the way we do it is by collaboration, guys. Andrew spoke about that early on. If all of us become better and all of us work together in that synergy, we're going to clock that. We're going to do so well. I'm going to talk about identity in a moment, but yeah, that's the first thing. Do you play nicely with your other pins? For many years, decades, that hasn't happened. People, no, it's my secret. I'm not going to a meeting of hotels because they're just going to want my ideas. And such opportunities lost through that. So please start playing with the other pins and playing nicely with them. Okay, so that's the first point. And remember this, the pin thing, you are the experience. You, your product, your staff are the experience. That's what people are interacting with, not what we write or what we distribute. So let me start getting into the things we're going to do, and that hopefully will excite you. The first one is we're going to do that whole experiences drive. We don't have enough experiences in Nelson Mandela Bay, folks. We've got products and services. We haven't taken enough of them to the next level yet. Do you believe me? Okay. Spoken to tour operators, the guys who do the cruise lines and that type of thing. And they say, if only there were more experiences, we'd be able to send you guys loads of people. So that is going to be my passion, if that's okay. It's going to be the first thing I drive. Linked to that, as we create our experiences, we need to overcome this type of bullshit, which you know exists. In fact, even some of our own receptionists and that say it. The main area which is a problem is the garden route. They are our feeder route. Yeah, you look at it, the tourists are already there. We don't have to go out and attract them here. The tourists are in Cape Town on the garden route in Titsikama. They're there. We've just got to get that referral system going. And unfortunately, that's what most of the receptionists on the garden route say. No, there's not much to do there. Go off to a game reserve. So our second project, which I want you guys to be part of, is probably in August. We're going to do a garden route roadshow. Salome remembers this because we did it probably 20 years ago, Salome, when you were 5. Thank you. So what we're going to do is the garden route guys, and having been in Knysna, obviously I've got a bit of influence there. They also believe that we're important to them because people land at our airport and then go down. So what we'll be doing is taking you folks down there. They will invite their members as well, and we will network together and create partnerships along those lines. So we will change people saying there's nothing much to do there to giving them things to say. And then you'll have the opportunity to take things one step further. I don't know how many of you remember the old Brenton-on-Sea Hotel when it was a wooden hotel. Okay? At that stage, and the new hotel's beautiful, the view's still awesome, but at that stage, you'll also remember the Summer Strand Hotel, yeah, which is no longer a hotel, but the two of them got together. Greg and Mark got together, and did a partnership, and everyone who went to the other place got referred to their mate down the road. And Mark and he wants that, apart from tour operators, is the biggest source of business I've got. That's how it happens. So we're not only going to let them know by taking all of you, we're going to get down there and try and create partnerships between you as products. And we'll even have a speed dating app where you can put your details on it, what type of establishment you are, and that type of thing. And we'll link you to people who you might not have seen there. So the whole thing of networking with other products. So we start by developing great experiences. We then add the Garden Route Roadshow to it. I've lost my single, but the next thing we're going to look at doing is along the lines of festivals. So there are a couple that have been brewing in me for 10 years or so. One of them is a target market that I think we've all forgotten about. Many of us are the over 55s market. Okay? Think about the benefits of that market. They don't have kids in the house anymore. They've paid everything off, and they prefer to travel out of season. Okay? They don't like going the summer holiday season is on and that. So imagine how nicely that works. And they love the product we offer, the golf, the walks, the nature, all of those things. We are so perfectly set up for that. So we are going to chase after that market with a festival. If you guys are up for that, we'll probably launch it next March or so, either March or May, one of the two. May is probably better. But we'll start and get as many as we can. And the great thing with those festivals is, like the Oyster Festival in Knysna, is people enjoy the first one and then they come year after year after year. And I'll have that slide up in just a moment. Getting to know our products, and I'm coming towards an end, but getting to know what is out there is the biggest thing that you can do. Because we need you to go out and see and tell and get that out there. You accommodation establishments are the secret to getting people to do things and getting you another night and getting you nights in the future. So I know many of you swallow and choke when you see the name, but Airbnb, they have recognized this to the extent that they've created a site called Airbnb Experiences. Have you guys seen that? Have you popped onto it? And if you go onto that, please do. You will discover what people are starting to look for. It's not 60 people going up a lighthouse or whatever it might be. It's groups of 4 to 10 people doing experiences that they're interested in. So the obvious one is culinary, that you can do that. But all of those experiences, foraging, stargazing. There's one where you land in a helicopter on the top of a mountain where there's a trail run leading from. And those are the types of things that we're going to go out and look for now and help people to develop. Even with the current guys, I'm not going to go on now because it's going to take a while. But we are looking at putting together and enhancing our app. We've got an app at the moment with tourist attractions, and we want to get it more or less to the place that Airbnb Experiences is at. And ask you that every tourist that comes in, you link them up to that app. And maybe even have something in your rooms. I've gone into hotel rooms and some B&Bs, and either there's nothing on what there is to do in Nelson Mandela Bay. That's, hey, you're in tourism. Don't you want to help? Or I don't even use them anymore. You remember those flip files, those plastic things with the sleeves, and you like flip them over? Those are still in rooms. They are tatty, and they have even more tatty brochures slipped into them. It's true. Excellent. Oh, we've seen that. So, folks, that is a big thing we're going to be working on, is getting activities to our people and getting you or your employees excited about telling them that. So we're working in the background, and you see how these things tie together? Better experiences and telling the tourist about the better experiences. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Easy link. And that's what we want. We want happy people posting and going mad. Now, here's a little challenge for you. For you to think about over the next little while. What is the tourism DNA, personality, whatever you'd like to call it, of Nelson Mandela Bay? If you had to describe our personality, it's like, think of it this way. A baby's born, the parents go out, this is Frank, and there's a pretty little goo-goo photo of Frank. That is a name. Now we go to the brand. Frank's parents come to you and they say, listen, Sean, we need to get out the house. It's been 5 weeks. Will you babysit Frank for us? And I remember that goo-goo photo and I go, yes, I'm there. And my friends hear about it and they start laughing at me. WhatsApps, face-to-face, everything. And they say, Sean, what you don't know is that baby cries incessantly. It never sleeps. When it isn't crying, it's pooping 10 times a day. And you don't want to open that thing. It's like, it's a terrible, terrible thing. And it just is an unpleasant child to babysit. It's going to drive you mad. Can you see what's happened there? A name has developed into a brand. Personality, now know something about the child. So Frank does that. That's what he's like. So now I want to challenge you. We're not going to come out with answers today, but I and my board have angsted over this, of saying in 2 paragraphs, this is what Nelson Mandela Bay is. This is the heart. We know all the things we'd like to talk about, but how do we capture that? By saying, this is it, and then moving on from there. What are we? I think some of us have forgotten. We probably need to go back to the old locals and say, how did it feel when you guys were the city of firsts and doing all of those things? So give it some thought for me. I'll send you out an email telling you exactly what I'm looking for. Will you guys do half an hour for me? If we can discover that, it's like gold dust. 2 other quick things we're going to do is we're going to look for authenticity in some of our products. PE is a city of copycats as far as many things go. You look at food, you'll notice there, if you can see it, New Orleans has the gumbo. You go to New Orleans, you have that. Marrakesh has the kebab. When people come to Nelson Mandela Bay and they go out for a meal and their friends say to them, so what unusual food or local food did you have there? No, same as everywhere else. Go on to our dining, Google dining in Nelson Mandela Bay, sushi, pizza, all of these things. There's nothing special there. So we're going to run, there we are. Check that out. Those are the top ones when I Googled the other day that I came up with. So we're going to be running a initiative called Bay Chefs, where we're going to challenge people to come up with food that is part of Nelson Mandela Bay, but tells the story of Nelson Mandela Bay. The whole cultural thing, and we've been talking about the Khoi setups there as well. The biggest thing that demonstrates the culture of a city or destination is its food in almost every destination throughout the world. So I'm looking for that. It could be something to do with the fish traps, the koi that Alan discovered, the fish traps out at the lighthouse, going back to that and looking at those fish and how they used fynbos to flavor them and everything. Or it could just be normal fish that you used to have as a child, but had unique recipes that weren't the same as other destinations. Get the feeling? We're going to start experimenting. We're going to start playing and seeing what we can come up with. We're also going to, this one's about to launch, we're going to look for the stories of Port Elizabeth, Nelson Mandela Bay, stories with photos. And I'll send information on that one out to you because we're getting a bit tight. My passion at the moment, township tourism, we have so much there. So much. Did you know that Warmer is the only township in South Africa that was not forcibly relocated? Only one in South Africa. I mean, that's unique, it's different, and because of that, there are different elements of that that come out in the township story. So we're going to brand it the one that got away. And we've got some wonderful stuff. I'll send this through to you as well, a descriptor of the townships. In fact, can I read it quickly? Because this captures what I want us to capture of Nelson Mandela Bay. The moments you spend with us are different. Each is rare because our whole time together is spontaneous, never the same. They're more immersive, more moving, and more connected. Maybe that's what the difference is, the emotional connection that we'll share. There's more there as well. And then all of these wonderful things that happen there. It just is going to be so exciting. And we've got similar initiatives happening in Motherwell and the other townships. And our next one we're going to look at is Uitenhage, because Uitenhage always gets left out. It's a bit like Sedgefield with Nisa. So we're going to do something there as well. There's the festival, guys. All of you have insights into it. The Over 50s Festival. So our title for it, and those of you in that age will know, the Baby Boomers Festival. That's the age group, eh? Baby Boomers Festival, very targeted. And look at that. I mean, yeah, we are now 35 years old, maybe 38. Yeah? We do all those things. And then we're going to target the family market. We've got a festival there as well, but I'm not going to go through that today. You will be so excited when you see it. It is not the normal music, crafts, and food festival that are all over our country. It is a whole new style festival that hones in on what people are interested in and creates experiences. And this is the last thing that I'm so passionate. We sat with, get the name, Sheena, of the organization with the recycling.
Sustainable Seas Trust.
Sustainable Seas Trust, and we are talking about the plastic problem. Now, if we want to say we are the best and most diverse bay in the world, you know that the Whale Heritage Site, we are one of only 6 in the world. We like cruise along with Victoria Bay, Vancouver Bay, and 5 others. We are rated with all of those guys. So having gone to that workshop, we came because everyone's going, how can we do something with this waste and educate people about it? So we are going to do an initiative with them where we create a walking route along the beachfront. We're going to put big containers out in partnership with people like them, have people put the plastic into it and sign if they put plastic into it, and then that will get used to make a sculpture that will talk about our bay. And yeah, Google it if you want to see recycled plastics and look through the stuff that's there. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's just wonderful. And we'll get companies to sponsor that. So Coke and people like that, we'll chat to them about sponsoring it. And there's some more of those. Andrew's spoken about the essentials. I promise you, we are totally committed to safe, clean, and making sure that all of those basics are in place. And the whole orchestra, we will do the conducting. We'll give you guys wonderful stuff, which you can then tell your visitors about, and they will tell their friends about. That's the cycle. Huh? Get better at what you do, get your current visitors to tell the other visitors, they come back, and it just grows and grows. And yeah, so I haven't got my conducting stick yet. In fact, no, this might work, eh? Does it look like a conducting stick? We can do that. So that's it, folks. Are there a couple of projects there that appeal to you that you think can make a difference? I am so excited to be back there again. I really, really am. And I've got some wonderful people on the board behind me. We'll be pulling some of the rest of you into that as well. But I've seen Khoisan products. I've seen Township products. I've seen Lloyd and over there. Please, 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 just breaking away from it. Before you go, please go down to 5G. Thanks for being here, guys. They've got, Kaz has got the most wonderful laugh in the world. You can listen for it and you'll know where 5G is. But they've got something on St. Croix and Bird Island that they've done in 5G, and you can go and put the goggles on there and experience that. And that is where we're heading with a whole lot of our attractions as well. So please, in exchange for the scones, go and do that for me. So that's about it, guys. I would love you to relax, to go over and have a look at the 5G. There's a little Corex pin board over there that we're gonna put up in a moment. And there are going to be pins there, because few pins, and a little piece of paper. And I'd like you to just jot something down on a piece of paper and pin it on there as your commitment to what we're going to do over the next year. Whether it's an idea of what our DNA is, whether it's just a thought about today and any of the things I've spoken about that are your favorites, write down Garden Route Roadshow if that is what it is, or write a proposal to some gorgeous girl who lives in Nelson Mandela Bay, whatever you want to do. So Bev's got it there. She's going to put it up behind me here, and she'll have the pins and the paper. Happy with doing that? Each of you, one thing. Put your first name at the bottom of it as well, but you can pin it onto the board. So, do you feel a bit inspired? Yes, we've worked hard at this. We've sat in workshop after workshop. We've agonized in sessions about coming up with the best things. And that is what we want you to do. We'll give you some guidance to agonize about how you can make your experience better. Do you guys follow the Braai show? What's it? Braaimaster. Do you follow that? We had Braaimaster here. It's on Netflix, so go and have a look at it there if you haven't seen it. Different areas here in Nelson Mandela Bay, and the twins put that together, and it's awesome. But there was a moment, and not wanting to pick one of you out, so I'm going to talk in the future about Sean's coastal adventure and various other things, but there is this young man of 60 odd with these Braaimaster people on the Sacramento Trail. And he is getting down there and showing them the fynbos and getting them totally involved in the whole experience. you probably know is young Alan. And at the end of it, you get that emotional spontaneity that will cause people to post, which is what we want. We want to become, within a year, one of the top 4 most posted destinations in Southern Africa. That's our aim, which we need your help with. But this woman came on at the end of it, one of the contestants, and like, that was amazing. I didn't know all of that is done. Yeah, I'm going to come back. That is incredible. And it was hands-on, because you would give them the stuff to play with, the fabulous and smell and everything. And he tells stories, which many of you do very well. But that is what we want. Her reaction was so spontaneous. It was like that was the best tourist thing that happened to her in the last 20 years. And those contestants are quite muzo, eh? They're little tense and that, and she just burst out. So I have dedicated my later tourism years to making this dream happen. Gonna bring back, but only you guys, the pins, you can make it happen. So have we got a little partnership here? Mm-hmm. Okay, raise your right arms if you have. Thank you. My wife, please. Thank you, love. Thank you. You know that you guys copy me, eh? I've been doing this elbow to elbow for the last 40 years. It's called a high two. And now you to this funny disease of copying me. Okay. The daddy of the elbow crunch. Guys, thank you for being here. Think about what you've experienced here today. You experienced a restaurant and facility that is world class, world class, which you didn't know about probably. You've learned that in the township at celebrations, scones are one of the main things. I said to them, come on guys, I said to Kaya, said to her, what is, tell me about something authentic at celebrations. And she went, scones. Really? Anyway, there's a story to that as well. There was Chipper coming down here and telling you a bit about Steve Biko. Not in the way of Steve Biko was a resistance leader and blah, blah, blah. It was Moy. It works. And we're going to use 5G and all of this stuff. I promise you, I will have a tattoo done on my arm if within the next 18 months, love, you don't have a say on that. So I'll tattoo there, I lied. If we don't manage this, all I and the board need are our partners, our pins. And if I've never lied to my wife, and Virgin, I'll be lying in bed and she'll look over, oh. So please be our pins, who are incredible, and tell the other pins out there as well, if you would. We had a great turnout. Thank you for coming down, guys. Thank you for being so motivated and so inspiring. And I'm going to head over to Sheena just to say thanks to a few people. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. I'm the shorty here, so I've got to go down and down and down. Anyway, my job is very quick, very easy, just to thank a few people who've made this possible. But before I start with the thanks, I want to just show you, this is something we are working with through EDTA, Irene and Donné. This we want in every single bedroom of every single establishment hotel in the city. It will be a safety tips for tourists. It will be short, it will be clear, it will be easy for them, put next to their bedside table that they pick up and see, oh, I don't need a parking ticket when I park on the beachfront. And then when the guy approaches them and said, you can't park here, you've got to get a ticket, they think, wait, I know, I read about that. So it will be easy, it will be nice, it will look good. We will put in an order, and our aim is to give every establishment 2, and then if you need more, we'll order, and then there will be a payment for that. But we'll have on the one side the safety tips, and on the other side the app do what to do. So whether it's a link to a 4D thing or something, but so people can see and get away from the flip files, as Sean said. So that's my little bit there. Oh, and the other thing Sean was supposed to say, and he forgot, in Tourism Month, we are wanting a black tie and barefoot event under the flyover freeway on the sand at the beach. So look out for that. We will be trying to get that sorted for us in the tourism industry, and I think it will be a stunning event. Okay, mine is a privileged responsibility to thank our sponsors and our people who have helped us here. So Lloyd, I don't see him, but all the staff and Lloyd and his wife for hosting us here. He sponsored the venue. Lloyd, thank you so much. And not pizzas and not whatever, let's look for our identity. I need to thank Magnetic Storm for all their AV systems that they've so generously put up for us. You know, we have the most amazing relationship, we as a board, with EDTA. WhatsApps fly backwards and forwards between this one and where's Donna? Somewhere over there. They are amazing. The staff in the economic development, tourism and agriculture, the tourism staff are fantastic, and they have really been such a blessing to us, such a help, and we really do work closely and well together. We also need to thank 5D Global. There they are there. And please, I had the experience just now. Please, before you go and sit and have an experience. It's actually out of this world. Then, of course, these things don't just happen. And Cheryl is a wonderful, wonderful person who is always there, calmly, quietly helping Andrew, Sean, and myself in getting this together. So it's a thank you to Cheryl and then to Andrew. You know, I did one of those rugby ball things when Sean was appointed in the project management position. I was the vice chair, so I had to step up. But you know, it was one of those step up and pass on, because I know, you can see the color of my hair, I am past my sell-by date. And we needed somebody who has got much more vision and energy, and Andrew stepped up to the plate and will be a most wonderful chairperson. And then also to Bev, who is Sean's right-hand lady, and she has done so much here. And then lastly, all of you, you know, tourism is about people. Tourism, you can have a beautiful place, but if you don't have beautiful people, there's nothing. It doesn't get off the ground. So thank you to each and every one of you. We look forward as Discover Mandela Bay. Do you see, we are tourism partners. We looked at, should it be a tourism alliance? Should it be a tourism association? And we said, no, we are all partners in tourism. And that is who we are. And we look forward to the interaction. If you've got an idea, contact Sean, contact Cheryl. If you've got something heavy on your heart, contact us. We are here to listen and to help and to do what we can, because each one of us is passionate about our city. We love it. I was born and bred here, so I've been here my whole life. This place is a gem. And tourism is a sleeping giant. So we are trying our very best to get us out there, to get people to come and experience what we experience every day. And we really, really need you all together to do it, and together we will do it. So thank you for coming and giving up of your morning. I think we're pretty much done. Go and watch the 5D and chat to Sean or Andrew or myself or anyone else. And yeah, we'll send out messages again when we have a next get together. So please put your name and your comment on and your pin, and pin it on there before you all go home. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you.
Lovely, guys. So there are the two things left to do. Please go to 5G. They have gone to so much trouble. Oh, sorry, did I say G? 5D. Even if you just put the goggles on for 30 seconds and have a good look around. And then the other thing is, because my wife set all of this up, jot something down where they're over there, the pieces of the piece of paper, just jot something down, put it on. I'm not quite the Johnny Depp scenario, but she does get upset if I don't get people who do things. Thanks, you know.